Welcome to Organized Zen Now. My name is Janie Downey. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So Organized Zen is all about getting to your best work, the work that's deep in your heart, the work that you really want to do and that you're probably put here on earth to do that we don't always get to. So the Zen part is doing that in a way that feels peaceful and kind to yourself, and that you feel really good about. So the work that you're getting to is stuff that you connect with personally, but you're also getting to it, which is a great feeling that raises your energy and raises joy. If this talk is helpful to you, please like, please share, and please subscribe below. When you subscribe, it helps other people find this channel, and I deeply appreciate that. All right, so this is on a series that I'm doing right now about taking care of your precious self. So I've already talked about food, talked about sleep. Today I'm going to talk about getting more activity in your life. So why is that important? So if you're trying to do your Zen work and you're trying to get organized, doesn't that mean that you're sitting and buckling down and just sticking to that? Why would you need some activity in your life? So the big thing is that when you get up and move, no matter really what you do, when you're moving your body around, it's getting all the fluids moving in your body, which means you're processing oxygen in a different way, which helps your brain, it helps your heart, it helps your muscles and your joints. And it just means you're fully functioning better when you've got some movement, even if you're just getting up and stretching. If you're not doing that, everything tends to get very still in your body, and it's just harder to process what you're doing as well as how you're living your life. So the two are intricately tied. Number of studies on activity and overall brain health. So look those up, Google those. Super helpful. We're trying to live a good, full life, and there are things that you can do on a daily basis, and one of those is getting activity in. And this doesn't mean an intense amount of activity. The studies that I've been reading recently are talking about a couple of hours a week, so a half an hour a day, 15-minute increments. It's not like you have to go out and run a marathon. It's just consistently getting your body moving. This is how we're built as cavemen. We're used to walking and picking things up and running and having activity built into our lives. And today it's hard to do that. It's very easy to just sit to do your work or to sit to do something that's entertainment to you. So the goal that I want you to think about for this is to think back in time about an activity that you love. So I think exercise kind of gets a bad rap and people are like, oh, I hate to exercise. But maybe that was stretching, or maybe that you tried yoga once and you didn't love it. But think back, there's got to be something in your life where you thought, I just used to love to walk, or I always loved to run when I was a kid. It could be tennis, could be hiking, could be dancing, could be yoga, could be anything that's to music. But so think back. It's hard to see the path going forward sometimes, easier to look back to see what's worked for you in the past. And the other thing you want to think about is what's worked for you in the past for being active as far as individual efforts or being part of a group. So for me, I love a group activity because I'm pretty social, but I like it because it also gives me a deadline, gives me a certain time I'm doing things if I'm committed to doing something with other people. But it's funny for me to find people to run with because you run at a certain pace. But I have found people that run at the same pace, and it just makes it joyous. The time just goes by like this if I'm running with somebody. But a lot of people don't like group activities. If you've done those in the past and you just cringe even thinking about it, think about things that you like to do that you can do by yourself. And walking is, the big default one that you don't need a lot of special equipment. You don't need to be with somebody. It pretty much doesn't matter where you live. You can just about always find somewhere to walk. And as a daily activity, as a daily practice, that's super helpful. And the daily practice part is really about making this into a habit. So if you try something once and you don't like it, but you think it's something in your gut that you would like, try it again and just stick with it until you can make enough of a habit out of it to say, I love this. Or, if you really hate it after a bit, think of another thing. You have a great brain on your head, and you can think of other things that will help you get your body moving. So what else on the health front? This also, besides just getting everything moving, I read a recent study by Dr. Dean Ornish that I loved that said you're actually building neurons in your hippocampus, which is a part of your brain that helps you to focus and concentrate. And you're building neurons. So when I was growing up, we were taught that you had an X number of brain cells, and when they died off, that was it. So basically, like you're on a downhill slant from the time you're 40. But it's not true. Your brain can regenerate, and activity is something that can really help with that in your brain. It also can help control your weight because it helps increase your metabolism. For me, activity doesn't help me lose weight. That's for me is all about food, but it helps me maintain it because my body just seems to process food in a different way. Anything that's weight bearing helps with bone density, but running and walking are included with that. And bone density means when you slip and fall, and which is going to happen at some point, we all slip and fall, you're less likely to end up with osteoporosis. You're less likely to end up with fractures. And fractures are a tricky thing for your body to have to deal with. Like to avoid that, you don't want to be in the boot. We don't want to be in the boot. This one I think is interesting too. So a lot of studies going back in time that say activity during the day helps you sleep better at night. And some of that you think, well, of course, because now I'm tired. But it's more than that. It's again, your body's just moving in the right way so that it can sleep solidly at night. And the combination of then getting that activity and getting a good night's sleep also means that you're going to feel happier and less moody uh, because you've gotten enough sleep, but also because your body is functioning really well. And then all of that just means you have more energy. You have more energy to bring to play, but you also have more energy to bring to your life and to bring to your work. And that's the most important thing when you're trying to get to the work that's most important to you is the energy you're bringing in. When you're doing work that you love to do, it raises your energy as well. And then just all of that compounds and you're just a powerful force here on earth. All right. So I'm going to give you 2 activity ideas for this. And the first one is really just about getting started. So I've been touching on that. And then the second one's just a suggestion that I think is fun. So for getting started, again, think back through time. And again, always, this helps me. Take out a pad and get some quiet time. Don't just think, oh, it's just going to come to me. Set aside a little bit of a time, 10 minutes to say, I'm going to sit with my journal today and I'm going to think about what I've done in the past that I really liked doing that I want to try again. You also, though, want to think about what matches your level now, because this might have been something that you did in high school or at some other time in your life, like playing competitive sports, basketball, running a marathon where you think, okay, I'm not really at that point. You want to match the level because you want to be successful with this. So pick something that you realistically think, okay, this is a good place to get started. So match your level, your ability, your health. You do not want to be in pain no matter what it is that you're doing. One of my daughters is a physical therapist, and she's like, anytime you're feeling pain, you got to stop what you're doing and reassess. You're not looking for pain in here. You're looking for a good feeling, and you're going to listen to your body just like you listen to your heart to figure out what you want to do. Listen to your body, and it will tell you when to stop. You also want to try to figure out a great time of day for you. So if you think, oh, I should be getting up and running in the first thing in the morning, and you know you're not a morning person, you're not going to be successful with that on a consistent basis. So think about what time of day works really well for you to get activity and where you have time. So if you've got a super busy job and you have to get up early with kids, you got to really think about then what activity can I do that I can fit in? And it might be that you just need to start parking farther away from where you're going so that you can walk a little bit, but baby steps really help. So start somewhere, but you definitely want to match the time of day that works with you. Don't push yourself to try to do something that's not going to be a natural fit. And then think about the group question. So it could be a big group, like a class that you join. It could be a small group, people that you find that have a common interest, or it could just be your individual effort. They all have pros and cons. So think. What works really well for you? What's going to make you the most motivated to do this, whatever it is that you're choosing to do on a consistent basis? And some things, obviously, like pickleball or tennis, you're going to need somebody to have to play with. So find that group and see what you can find for that. And then no matter what you do, you want to really think about your feet. You're going to invest in shoes. So every type of activity seems to require a different kind of a shoe. But a good solid sneaker should work for most things to get you started. So, but invest in that, because if you get started and you get bad shoes, your feet are going to hurt, your legs are going to hurt, your knees are going to hurt, your hips. So invest in shoes. That's your one big investment for activities like running and walking. And then the last is just really to be kind to yourself. So starting at a level that you think you can match. If you miss a day, start again the next day. If you start into something and you really don't like it and you've honestly given it an effort, then do something else. But being kind, and then being a little strict with yourself too, to say, come on. Come on, this is going to help our overall brain health and our overall body health, which means we're going to get to really good work, which is what we're looking for. All right, so that's activity number 1. Activity number 2, I think, is just an interesting activity. So, walking really is the easiest way to kind of slide into this. So what I would suggest, if you're just ready to have some fun with this, is to go for a slow walk. So a woman named Karen Ward taught a creative class, and I loved, she sent us out, it was an online class, but she sent us outside to just do a slow observant walk. It was so much fun. So I took a pad of paper, I took a pen, or my phone also to take pictures. But you're looking for little clues as you go. You're looking to see what catches your attention on a slow walk, or you may just decide, all right, I'm gonna have a theme to my walk today. So put aside the paper and the phone and say, I'm just gonna go for a walk, and I'm just gonna look for a certain color. I'm just gonna look at things that are red, look for things that are yellow. Or I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna listen to sounds. So I'm just listening to birds and dogs and kids outside. Or you may say, I'm gonna do a people count. How many people am I passing today? What happens with that then is you observe each person that you go back. So this is a little mind exercise, as well as just getting you out to walk. And you don't have to go far. You can just say, I'm just going to go out for 15 minutes. I'm going to go out at a time of day that I love. But picking a theme to a walk can make it really an interesting piece. It could be even as, if it's a slow walk, to just feel each footstep as you go. That's very Eckhart Tolle, who's a philosopher, is a big believer in that. One step, one step, one step. And obviously that plays out into every decision you make in your life, right? You're trying to start something new and you think, what's one step? What's a baby step? What's the next step? So it's very symbolic and kind of a cool way to reflect back on, I did it with walking. Can I apply that to the rest of my life? Okay, I hope you have fun with that. So spend that time and think about what you want to do, and then take some step this week. We'll all thank you, because you'll bring more energy to yourself and to your life. Okay, talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.